Hey YouTube, Jamie here, and I'm gonna do the Attitude Era Blu-ray review. Alright, let's get to the back. Here, I'll open it up and show you the disc. It's just 2 disc set, and doesn't really have an insert, but it says the listings in the back part. But I'll read this. Bust out their Austin 316, strike a 5-second pose, heat up delicious slice of pie, and count down to Y2J all over again with the Attitude Era. Go back to the days of dysfunctional disorder and defiance, when radical anti-hero ditched their saying their prayers and taking their vitamins for opening up a can of whoop ass and laying the smack down. When rebels ruled the airwaves and PG stove for puppies and grapefruits. This 2-disc slobber knocker is packed with all the action that pushed censors to new limits, shattered TV cable ratings, and crushed WWE's competition like a Spanish announcer table. This has the Austin McMahon rivalry, the invention of Hell in a Cell, TLC, and Brawl for All, and more. The revamping of Superstars' entrance, all the top WWE superstars such as Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, all 3 of his gimmicks, DX, Undertaker, Edge and Christian, Chris Jericho, Trish Stratus, the McMahons, Kane, APA, Sable, Goldust, and Val Venus, and more. Here, I'll take this part out and read you the listings. The first part of this was the documentary. It was like an hour and a half. Glare light. The birth of Attitude. Talked about when Attitude Era started, their entrance musics. Then talked about their entrance songs, and everyone jumped up out of their seats when they heard their songs. And there's the DX. Talked about DX and Austin versus McMahon, and then their rivalry and storyline and long arching stories, innovations, and new demographics and critics. This had mostly interviews from people that were still on contract with WWE from the Attitude Era, and then it showed some of the older stuff from people that weren't with WWE anymore, but some interviews, expansion, and then some of the comedy. Wealth of talent. They had a lot of good people and stars. The world was watching, and the watershed period. I don't remember what that one was about. This had some Blu-ray exclusives. That's why I got this on Blu-ray instead of DVD. Jim Ross interviews Goldust and Marlena, and this is where it talks about Goldust wanting a divorce. On Raw, November 3rd, 1997. Stone Cold throws the Intercontinental Championship off a bridge on Raw, December 15th, 1997. Soldier of Love, May 4th, 1998. I don't remember what that was. On Raw. Most of this stuff was on Raw. Or maybe not. Jesus. You just sit up. Mr. McMahon presents Mankind with the Hardcore Championship. He was like, I got you a present, and Mick Foley was like, give me a present, give me the present, give me the present. It was funny. Then Jim Ross interviews Triple H on Sunday Night Heat, June. I'm not going to say the dates, but maybe I will. But he talked about being held back after what happened at the Click at Madison Square Garden when it was Kevin Nash's last show and they were all giving each other high fives and stuff. And, evening at the Friendly Tap was the bar, and then DX went there, and Road Dogg. It was the New Age Outlaws, and then APA came there, and there was a fight, and then the New Age Outlaws slipped out, and then Mae Young and the Acolyte Protection Agency, it was something, and then like they were playing poker, and she was like, got any cigarettes and got any beer and got any cigars and stuff. She smoked all their cigars and drank all their beer, and then ended up winning the jug band. That was Judgment Day 2000, and that was in Louisville, Kentucky. Not too far from me, but probably 2 hours. And it was when Edge, Christian, and Kurt Angle were acting like hillbillies. Triple H trained Trish Stratus. That's when Triple H was doing that move, and he was like holding Trish's arm, and then Stephanie came in and started throwing stuff, and then Edge's Totally Awesome Birthday. The Rock sends a message to his Hell in a Cell opponents. That's when he started making fun of everybody. He was like making fun of Stone Cold. He was like, get in my pickup truck, drink some Steve Weiser, and listen to some Backstreet Boys. It was funny. And he was like making fun of the Undertaker. He was like, rest in peace. And then he was saying, die, die, die. It was funny. And then GTV, it was showing like stuff that was like, it showed Droz and Albert and like bikinis. It was weird, and it showed weird stuff. And Mike Tyson joins DX. A new beginning for D-Generation X after Shawn Michaels got hurt. Sable versus Marvelous Mark Mero. Sable won. That was pretty funny. Nation of D-Generation. That's when DX came out and started making fun of everybody. Bart Gunn versus Dr. Death, Steve Williams in a brawl for all, and that was just like, they put gloves on the wrestlers and just let them fight, but they quit doing that because wrestlers were getting hurt, because they were just letting them really fight and stuff. Then the Four Corners match for the Tag Team Championship, Undertaker and Stone Cold versus Kane and Mankind versus the New Age Outlaws versus The Rock and Owen Hart, but it was DX and like Ken Shamrock came out there and beat up Owen Hart, and then D'Lo Brown came out. Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart in a Lions Den match. That was pretty good. They had one of those at SummerSlam 99 as well. The Rock and Undertaker versus Mankind and Stone Cold. I don't remember what that was. Austin gives the Corporation a beer bath. That was funny when he came out in the beer truck and sprayed them down. And then Undertaker versus Stone Cold for the WWE Championship. Well, let's skip right past the Survivor Series, Deadly Games or something like that. Survivor Series 1998 Finals for the WWE Championship. And then debut of Y2J when he came out. They didn't. D'Lo Brown versus Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental and European. The winner got them both. The Rock and Mankind versus Undertaker and Big Show. Freaking Triple H came out after The Rock and Undertaker were fighting backstage, and Mankind and Triple H buried Mankind. It was The Rock and Undertaker fighting backstage, and then Triple H and Big Show buried Mankind. Big Show threw Mankind like 50 feet, and he fell, hit the thing, and then he rolled into the hole. It was crazy. Then Stone Cold and Jim Ross versus Chyna and Triple H. I don't remember that. Big Boss Man sympathy for the Big Show's dad, and he came out and was reading him a sympathy card. It was dumb. I don't even know if that was real. And then wedding of Stephanie McMahon and Andrew Test Martin. Then Triple H comes out and says that he did the wedding thing with Stephanie. And then D'Lo Brown and Godfather versus Too Cool. And they ended up fighting, and then they were like, they just started dancing with all of his hoes. And then Hardcore Holly versus Crash Holly for the Hardcore Championship. And it ended up everyone going after Crash in the back. And he locked them out and he ran. Like, they all went outside. And he locked them out and they ran. And then European Championship match, Chris Jericho versus Eddie Guerrero. Then the Steel Cage match for the Intercontinental Championship, Rikishi versus Val Venus. Rikishi was the second man to jump off the top of the cage. TLC won for the Tag Team Championships. Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys. That was the first ever TLC match. That was an awesome match. And then the Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. That was awesome for the WWE Championship. Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock versus Undertaker versus Triple H versus Rikishi. Rikishi got thrown off the top of the cell onto the stuff. It was like betting for freaking like a hamster or something. It was weird. We got mulch too. And then Ken Shamrock versus Triple H versus Owen Hart. It was a bunch of King of the Ring winners. And the Oddities with the Insane Clown Posse. Insane Clown Posse versus the Headbangers. And the Insane Clown Posse and the Oddities won. The Headbangers were jealous, I guess, or 'cause they were all weird, but the Oddities won because the Insane Clown Posse cheated. The truth about Sammy, gotta hurry up. It was this like transvestite person, girl, and guy, and Mark Henry didn't know, and he got hurt, and he went back there with this girl, or guy, and he was kissing and doing nasty stuff, and he like filled up his pants, and he was like, "Sweet Jesus, a penis." It was funny. And then the unholy union of Stephanie McMahon and Undertaker, and Stephanie McMahon was on the cross, and all the ministry people was there, and it was Stone Cold came out with a chair and started beating up everybody, and he took Stephanie off. Then a no disqualification, the match, The Rock versus Val Venus. That wasn't really that good. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Kane, and Shane McMahon versus Triple H, X-Pac, and the New Age Outlaws. And that was an okay match. Then Al Snow versus Crash Holly for the Hardcore Championship. I like the Hardcore title matches. That was okay. And then Hardy Boys and Lita versus Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko. I don't know. The Blu-ray exclusives weren't really that good, but they was okay. And Chris Jericho and the Dudley Boys versus Kurt Angle and Edge and Christian. And the Dudley Boys started beating up Kurt Angle's brothers because they all were in the crowd and stuff. And they started beating them up. But overall, this was a good documentary and matches and stuff on it. Even if you don't want the Blu-ray, it's not really just for the Blu-ray exclusives. It's not really the best, so you can get it on the Blu-ray. It's better quality, but it has some Blu-ray exclusives that you might want to see, and has everyone on the cover that was in the Attitude Era. All the main people. There's their side. It's got scratch writing like the Scratch logo, but they're covering it up on the cover with the paint, like DX paint. But I give this a 10 out of 10. You guys should go definitely pick it up. It'd be a good one for your guys' collection. And some people that don't watch wrestling anymore, they only watch during the Attitude Era. And before that, you should go pick this up to relive some of the moments from back then. It's just really good. Yeah. I'll show the cover for just a little bit more. I don't really go over, but I'm about to end it because it's about to be 15 minutes, and since I got a copyright strike, I can't upload more than 15 minutes. Has everyone that was in the Attitude Era. Puppies, Mr. Sacco, But yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, bye.